Hi, welcome to Smart Board 101. I'm your host, Robert Rocha, and I'm a instructional technology specialist with the Paso Independent School District. In our recent video segments, we've been talking about how to add interactivity into your Smart Notebook lessons. Today, our focus is going to be on pull tabs. And pull tabs allow the teacher to do two things, actually. One way it can work is adding information to the students a little bit at a time for maybe instant hints that you want to go ahead and give a student, but you don't want to actually display on your smartboard at one time. You can also use it to kind of maybe check your answers. And we're going to kind of show you examples of both ways that you can use pull tabs in your classroom today and how to build those particular segments. So let's go back to our smartboard and kind of look at that slide and see if you can find it useful in your classroom. So here I have my pull tabs actual slide. So I'm going to click on pull tabs and take me there. And here, there's different parts of speech. Circle the nouns in the following sentences, then pull the red tab to check your work and pull the gold tab for help. So here I'm going to go ahead and look for a part of speech. I'm going to say all these are going to be nouns. I'm going to be looking for different nouns. And so here, and if a kid doesn't know or a student doesn't know what a noun is, if I go to my pull tab here and I pull it out, it kind of unhides what's there and it gives me a hint, and it says a noun is a person, place, or thing, and has a picture of a cat, an apple, and a pen to let them know that those are things that we consider to be nouns. And so once you're done with that information, you can take the pull tab and put it back and hide it, so that way that information is available to you at any one time, but it's not kind of junking up or clogging up the actual page that you have. And so for at this particular point now, a student can come up, take a pen, and I'm going to go and choose my black pen here. I'll choose the blue one. And it says, encircle all the nouns. So I'm going to go and circle in my first sentence, the girl picked up the pen from the desk. And so I know that a girl is a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. And I'm going to circle it. And it's kind of hard to show up on this actual smartboard here, but I'm going to choose a different colored pen actually now that since it's in blue, I'm going to go and choose this red one. And I'm going to choose the next noun in my sentence, which is going to be the pen. I'm going to go and grab my pen here and circle it. I'm off a little bit on my smartboard, but that's okay. The point is that we're circling those different nouns that I have, and my last noun that I have is going to be the desk. I circle that one there, and so that's how the students go up and actually interact with the board itself by circling things with different pens with their finger. But at this point, you may say, okay, well, did they get the right answers? How am I going to check that particular work? Well, once I'm that pen, I need to go back to being a cursor. I'm going to go back to being cursor is being selected. Now, if you notice on the right-hand side of my screen, I have all these different pull tabs that says pull. And if I pull that out, and try that again over here, it's hard to kind of find what the actual piece is there. And if I pull that out, I notice I get all these circles that are kind of grouped together. And if I kind of line that up there, it lets me know in green all the answers that are correct. And so definitely we did our good job today because we circled girl, which is green. We circled pen, which is also green now. And we also circled the desk. And so our answers are correct. So the rest of the actual examples kind of work the same. So let's go ahead and try to build this particular slide. And it's a little tricky at first. What I'm going to try to do here is I'm actually going to copy some of these pieces and move it over to my other new page that I'm going to create. So let's go ahead and show you how that works. So I'm going to go back to my computer screen here, and I'm going to go and add a new page, which I can grab that from the very top of my screen up here, my menu bar. And there I go. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back and put my page under dual page display. And on this one, for the sake of the actual timing of the show, I'm going to move those words over to my next page. Of course, if you wanted to add your own words to it, you just simply start typing in, take your cursor, click in that little the work environment area, and you can start typing in parts of speech. Okay, and so you got your different words that you have up here. But again, for the sake of the show, I'm going to go ahead and take my cursor, and I'm actually just going to drag this one out over here. And I'm going to delete what I just did. And I'm going to take that one, I'm going to delete that one over here, put that there. And I'm going to move it up a little bit higher so I give myself a little more space that I have up here. And I'll just take the second sentence that I want from here. I'm going to unlock that second sentence. I'm going to move that over. And I'm just going to work with that one sentence today because I'm kind of limited on my time. So I'm just going to use that one sentence that I have up here. And so I'm going to go back to being my single page display. And there's my items that I have up there. And so now I want to go and find that pull tab. I want to create that first pull tab that I have. And so I'm going to find that pull tab in the gallery. So in my tabs, it's going to be on the left-hand side of my screen. The second tab that I have is going to be, has a picture of the gallery that's there. So I'm going to click on the gallery, and I'm going to do a search for pull, actually pull tab. And I want to keep that singular because if you make it plural, it may not come up in the search. You want to keep your searches very simple. So here I go. I typed in pull tab. I'm going to go to my first magnifying glass, which searches within the gallery here. And there I go. I have 30 pictures of pull tabs. And you can see they have all these different varieties of pull tabs that you have. And so I'm just going to use this, this brown one. Actually, I'm going to use this little brown one. So I'm just going to double click on it or actually drag it out. And so now I'm going to go ahead and rotate that. Now, if I want to rotate that, what I have to do is on my, if you notice here my circle here, I've got a green circle. If I put my cursor on that, where it is right here, I can actually move that to the side. And there is my particular piece that I have up there. Okay. Now this one actually is going to require, this pull tab is going to require me to do several different things. I'm going to go ahead and add a text box, and I need to actually add some pictures to it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put a hint for what a noun is. So I'm going to go ahead and on my computer screen, just type in noun, and I'm going to go ahead and put it here, colon. A noun is a person. I'm going to go ahead and actually hit enter now because I want to make this kind of a short one, make it more of a square than a rectangle. Person, and I actually need to put a comma there. Place, comma, or thing. Okay, so I'm going to have that there. So I'm going to move that kind of close here. And now, if you notice in our original document, the original tab that we had the pictures of the actual cat and an apple and a pen. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my gallery, and I'm going to do a search for a cat. Click on that one. And there's 50 pictures of cats, and I kind of like this blue cat right there. So I'm going to go and choose, actually no, this brown one looks kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put that brown cat here. And next thing I'm going to do is a pen. And I found 57 pictures of pens. And there we go. And actually all these are kind of really large, but we're going to fix that in just a moment. And of course an apple. So let's go and find an apple here. And there's my apple. Okay. Well, these are really big pictures. So what I'm going to do now to make that picture smaller, notice here when I clicked on the editor there, I have a white handle. It's on the bottom right of my screen. That allows me to resize that object a little bit smaller. And I think that's about pretty much what I need there. Because I think that at that point the students understand pretty much what that picture is. Make it a little bit smaller here. Got the pen. Make that a little bit smaller there. And of course my apple. I'm going to make that really small. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put that items next to there. Now, there I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects that are actually not grouped together. So I want to group them all into one graphic. So I'm going to take my cursor, drag it across, and notice now I selected all of the pieces there. It doesn't matter which drop-down menu I choose. I go to the drop-down menu, I go to grouping now, and go to group, and now all of that is one item. And so now that's one item, I need to make it locking it to allow move. So I'm going to lock it, and I'm going to allow move. And so now I can move all of that as to one piece, and I can hide it on my Smart Board, and there is my pull tab that I have right there. So when I need that hint, I pull it out, and I see my different hint that I have, or the extra fact that I want to give my students that I have here. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to try to do now is create those circles. And I know I'm running out of time on my show, but let me see if I can go ahead and give you another pull tab. And go back up here and search for pull. And there, I'll choose the blue one now on this one. And I'm going to go ahead and rotate it. Okay. And I'm going to put it up here just for now. I'm going to make sure this one's locked. I'm going to lock this one in place. Locking. Lock that in place. So now I'm going to grab a circle, And I'm going to, oh, I've got my little timer here, and I'll turn that off. There we go. Sorry about that interruption. And I'm going to go ahead and get a circle here. And I got my circle. And then I'm going to make that circle green, though. So I'm going to choose that as being a green circle. And so when I click over here under apples, oh, it's not what I wanted. So let me go back and do undo. And I chose the wrong item, so go back to being the circle again. Go back to my tab, and I want that not to be a fill. I want the fill to be white, but my line I want to be the green. So there we go. Now it should work the way I want it to. There we go. And I need three of those actually, so there I go. And go back to being a cursor. And I'm going to move that very first one out here. Now notice that it's kind of hid the words there because it's actually in front of the object. So what I need to go and do is drag that or go to that drop-down menu screen and go to Order, and I'm going to send that to the back. Send to back. And there I go. And now it's actually highlighting that particular word. And keep doing that for the same one, drop-down menu. I'm going to go to Order, send to back, and apples, and the last one I have up here is going to be for the classroom. So let me go back up there, go to Order, send to back, and there I have it for classroom there. Now it kind of didn't work out too well as I wanted this to, but that's okay. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my marquee select there. Notice they all came up there. I'm going to group that as one item, grouping. I'm going to group it. And so now I'm going to go ahead and go back and lock it again, locking and lock to allow move. And so now, notice here, all those items are locked into place in that special order. So when the kids go back up there to check their answer, they can now simply pull it out and they can match it to what it's going to be the way to check their answers there. So, sorry I ran out of time on my show today to get you the complete picture, but hopefully you get a good understanding of how you can use pull tabs. And hope you can use it in your classroom. The kids will like it, and you'll find it very useful. And so that pretty much wraps it up for the smart lesson for today on pull tabs. I hope you enjoy it and have a nice day.